Markets are trading slightly in the red during the pre-market session, but that's not what everyone is talking about. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Tech Solutions here with a super quick market update. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. For those that do not know, NASDAQ markets QQQ continues to consolidate. This is on the 10-minute time frame. Very common resistance range, very common support range. And even if we zoom out a little bit further, not only is market kind of lacking direction, so this is just a great reminder to not overtrade or force a trade today that you end up bag holding over the weekend until Monday, right? But if you look at the larger time frames, markets are overbought. They're lacking progress on the upside, but they're definitely not selling up. So a great reason to be calculated and also wait for confirmation. If markets do begin to recover and make new highs, then great, let's wait for that. If markets do begin to sell off and break support and begin to sell off and you want to short, then great, let's wait for that. Confirmation is key, especially when direction is not clear. There's no reason to overtrade or to waste trades on a Friday into a weekend. With that being said, what is everyone talking about? That is UNH. A lot of you guys know is that we've been following UNH since the Luigi Mangione CEO killer, right? Because of how it reacted right off the bat. Now, once I began talking about the opportunity that UNH offered, people began to comment and said that morally they could not see themselves investing in it. And I completely respect that. You should never be convinced or encouraged to invest in something that doesn't align with your criteria, but also your morals. With that being said, for those that do see it as an opportunity, if we look at it on the much larger time frame, you can see that UNH, there's a huge dip buy opportunity. At least there was. At $230, this stock was trading at over $600 per share. So from $230, you're talking about an over 120% return is what it offered if it recovered. Well, why did it sell off so much? It wasn't for no reason. It's being investigated for fraud. But again, is this the government just trying to fish for something? Well, that's what a lot of people are assuming. And with that being said, the reason I'm talking about it is because now, as of yesterday, as many of you guys heard, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, one of the greatest investors, if not the greatest investor of all time, has invested in UNH. Over $5 billion worth of UNH stock is what he's purchased in the past 2 quarters. With that being said, markets are reacting in a positive way. Now, I'm not going to be like one of those crypto bros that's like, oh my God, you're going to miss out. This thing's going to rocket. You need to get in before we go to the moon. No, you have to understand Warren Buffett, if you understand the way that it's been broken down, he's been buying this stock, to my understanding, for the past 2 quarters. Okay, well, let's look at UNH for the past 2 quarters. UNH has been on a downtrend. This doesn't change the story. This does add conviction to the recovery, and that's what I love about this, is we've been talking about it, and actually was having a conversation with my buddy Weston. It's like really cool when you do your due diligence on a company, you see value in it, and then to solidify it, you have one of the greatest investors of all time, or maybe like other great investors, they also either invest or acknowledge that, yeah, it's a good opportunity. But it doesn't change the timeline, and it doesn't change the current challenges and obstacles that UNH might experience in the up and coming future. This is a great positive reaction today, but please do not make an impulsive decision buying today thinking that we have to go to the moon when, again, Warren Buffett is just not that kind of investor, right? He's not your Michael Saylor convincing you to take out a HELOC on your property so you invest in MicroStrategy. Very simple. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I had to let you know that your time is running out. Moomoo is offering you up to $1,000 of NVIDIA shares. Yes, NVIDIA, one of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. Depending on your initial deposit, you can earn up to $1,000. If you want to learn more about it, you're not going to want to miss out. First link in the description down below. Again, if you're tired of your old and outdated brokerage, look no further. Why not test out Moomoo? Not only can you earn up to $1,000 of NVIDIA shares, but you can also earn up to 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, meaning that once you transfer your money on over to Moomoo, If you don't even have it invested because maybe markets are too overvalued, you want to be safe, you're actually going to be earning interest while that money just sits in your account. But again, if you want to learn more about it, first link in the description down below. You're not going to want to miss out. And yes, of course, it's available in the US and much more. First link down below. Check it out, right? If you look at the past series of months for UNH, it's been a downtrend. It's been consistently selling off. It's great to see that Warren Buffett is jumping in, and it's great to see how the market is reacting. But one thing that is very common in the stock market, especially nowadays, is that any reaction can be an overreaction. So I would just hate for you to now be convinced to buy into UNH. It's up 10%. And then for some reason, remember, overall markets are overbought. So if overall markets begin to retrace, then again, UNH can also sell off. And also, based off of its investigation, if UNH continues to get investigated or if something is found, then yes, UNH can go lower. I do believe, personally speaking, based off of how I see value, that UNH is a company worth watching and possibly worth investing if it aligns with your criteria. But it's also hard to ignore that the timeline is also super important to acknowledge, is that this isn't something that I expect to recover in just a few months. I think it might take maybe a few years. Who knows how long this investigation can happen. I'm all for people investing into companies that big investors are jumping into. But I don't want you to make an impulsive decision where you jump in and then this thing begins to retrace and then now you get left bag holding or you feel sour about the whole experience. Stay calculated and be intentional. Understand the timeline, and if it's something that you acknowledge and respect, then great, why not take advantage of it if it's something that you're okay with tolerating. I just don't want you to make an impulsive decision that you later end up regretting in the short term if there is more selling pressure. You know that I love talking about the potential, but I also always like to highlight the risk, especially for our beginner traders. With that being said, I also wanted to share this series of different companies that Warren Buffett is invested in, just so you have an understanding of the character that he is, right? He's invested in Pool Corp. He's invested in LENB. He's invested in STZ, very boring companies, Domino's, Chevron, Heiko, right? Like the list goes on. Let me see if this is where he had it. So it's TMUS, yep, there it goes, yep. UNH, UnitedHealth, 5 million shares is what he ended up buying. And you can see that it's less than 1% of his portfolio. I mean, again, it's really important to acknowledge that this is a position that he ended up taking, but let's not pull a Nancy Pelosi with like Tempest AI, right? Just because Nancy Pelosi bought with that bullshit AI company and then it goes up 300%, I don't expect this to be the same thing. Warren Buffett, in my opinion, is much more credible, but again, he's not someone that just tries to pump or manipulate a stock for their own best interest, not like Nancy Pelosi. I'm not saying that that's always her intention. I'm just saying that it doesn't surprise me or wouldn't surprise me if she continues to do so because she knows that people are simply following her trades, right? The other thing that I also want to make sure that I highlight is kind of where the overall market is at as of right now. So what does the Fed do here? CPI is cold, core CPI is hot, PPI inflation, red hot, month over month PPI inflation at a 3-year high. President Trump has maintained his near daily calls for a 300 basis in rate cuts, and a new Fed chair is about to be announced in 8 months in advance, which again, this is where the idea of a ghost Fed, this doesn't normally happen where a Fed chair replacement gets announced this far in advance. But the idea behind this is that Trump will announce who the next Fed is, so whatever Powell says in the meantime isn't as influential moving forward. So again, it's a tactic. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. Can the market handle more rocket fuel? So we'll see. Again, be intentional, be calculated. It's a Friday. You don't want to enter a position that you later end up regretting. And the thing that I do want to share with you is I'm actually here in New York. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you're not going to want to miss out. I'm going to try to document everything it is that I'm doing here, but it's going to be a very exciting day. A little hint, we'll be walking the NASDAQ floor today. So I'm excited to bring you guys along. I appreciate your guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. And also do not forget, if you guys want to watch me trade live, it's going to be the second link in the description down down below. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and you'll get to watch me trade live every single day. And yes, it's designed for complete beginners. I appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.